What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is Mike LaBelle and welcome back to Closing Belle. And today, we not only have special guest CapgunTom, but we will be going back and forth FIFA 21 information, what we want to see, leaks, reveals, what this actually means, all encompassing. Let's get into the action. FIFA 21 forecast. What's been happening around the community? If you saw EA Play or you've seen the trailer, doesn't give you a lot to work. Kind of a mix and match between Madden and FIFA. We're being kind, saying it's minimalistic. It barely gives you a tease to kind of work with. We do have an official release date, October 9th. If you have pre-order, October 6th. If you have early access, October 1st. So everything's been pushed back a couple weeks from what we're used to, which makes sense dealing with the social climate. EA also updated their socials. We now have an idea what the colors and themes gonna look like in terms of graphics. It might seem like a small detail, but I kind of like the purple, white. It looks like it's gonna be clean. It's gonna be a nice collection. When we review the pre-order packages and the different access points and the additions, it's pretty similar across the board. You get a certain amount of packs. You're gonna get some lone players. Something that does stand out, I'm gonna read this off the list. Career mode, homegrown talent. Local youth prospect with world-class potential. And I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but what does that actually mean? And part of playing career mode is doing your own scouting, developing your own players. Does this feel like a little bit of a cheat code? Just food for thought. I'm not a career mode junkie. Someone step up, talk to me. Nintendo users, not gonna be a lot for you to talk about. You're only gonna get a legacy update, kits, and roster basics. EA seems to have left you out of the programming when compared to Sony, Microsoft, and whatever happens with PC and what they're going to put out. We're kind of in this in-between year because it's going to start where we're at the current gen and then it turns into a next-gen title. We had a lot in the forecast to kind of open up some discussion points, but now I want to talk about the rumor reveals, and of course, I'm joined by the main man, CapgunTom. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm very well, mate. How are you?
Well, good morning from my end. I'm doing well. I'm feeling kind of awake, but I'm not going to lie. I was up kind of late streaming last night, and we're going to talk a lot about FIFA 21 and what we have available to us, which is a decent amount of information, but not a lot of confirmation. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, it's always the way with EA. They always give us just a little bit too little to really make us know what's going on. We're always just left short. There's like always a nugget of information they just don't drop, and it's just very frustrating.
Veteran moves. You would be better off, instead of watching through the entire EA Play, at least if you're a FIFA enthusiast, just get on Twitter and wait for them to start tweeting out articles for us to get involved with and kind of read through the fine details. Something that I noticed, it looks like FIFA 21 will be available on Google Stadia. I mean, it's not 100% confirmed. I mean, Stadia made a tweet. You heard right. EA's biggest franchises are coming to Stadia, which is kind of a confirmation, but maybe not, because with our luck, that means FIFA wouldn't make its way over to Google Stadia. But I'm not really sure what this means when I'm looking at the grander scheme, because this is basically a cloud-based service. You don't need a console. Who would you play against? We don't have cross-platform.
I can only assume that they're going to make you play against other Google Stadia players. If there's even an online mode, you just don't know. You don't know what they might give you down a very watered down version of FIFA.
So I saw the announcement. I just don't know what this means, because we have no crossplay, and that's kind of the next rumor reveal. Everybody wants it. I think we'd be really trying to make sure the glass is half full and not half empty if we're saying that crossplay is in the near future and when it's going to be likely, because EA put it long-term goal, as I quote looking at this article. And when I hear long-term with EA, it can't be FIFA 21. I doubt it's going to be FIFA 22. I kind of want to know your thoughts. How optimistic are you?
I am not optimistic at all. I just think that EA will probably only look to add it to FIFA when it becomes like an industry standard that all games are cross-platform. Maybe they're not sure because we're about to jump to the next console. They're not really sure how it's going to work. They don't want to commit to anything, because we all know that if they commit to doing something and then they don't, we're going to jump down their throats. So I can see why they'd give a sort of like a watery response on that one.
And when we saw confirmation with Apex and then also Need for Speed, being able to have crossplay. But I like your point, because I definitely think, especially with this year in particular, you could easily be overwhelmed with trying to introduce crossplay and then having a new console. For both ends, and getting a title that also looks different and feels different in terms of the upgrade. Even though you have dual entitlement, if you guys have not been seeing some of the news, what that means is you can upgrade your copy of FIFA 21 from the current gen into the next gen for free, because FIFA comes out just before the release dates for the new consoles. So they should kind of give us that for free. But I do kind of wonder what they're going to do with FIFA 21. And you do carry over your Ultimate Team and your Volta account from current gen to next gen, but nothing else crosses over. So if you've been playing pro clubs or career mode, you are going to start fresh, at least from what's been announced up to this point.
Shocking, that, isn't it? That the modes where you can't actually pay any money to have any of like the cosmetics or the packs, that they won't move it across. It just doesn't make any sense.
I can just see, you're right, I can see the Reddit community of pro clubs and career mode being like, just looking from the outside in here, why don't our game modes cross over? What's the reasoning behind that?
It doesn't. I mean, I think that we should be taking away positive for EA on this one. The fact that you get the game for free, upgraded if you've already bought it on the previous console. Because in the previous years, I don't think they did that. I'm pretty sure that was you bought one and then you bought the other. So at least that's going in the right direction.
And I'm hoping, and I might be getting ahead of myself here, we have our official announcement schedule now in terms of EA is going to talk about gameplay. They're going to talk about pro clubs. They're going to talk about Volta and Ultimate Team and so forth. Is this the year that we see Volta now being able to be played online with your friends? Because I think a lot of people were excited for FIFA Street to a certain degree, but the big portion of that excitement was, I want to be able to play with my friends. I want to play with other content creators online versus other people, and be able to share that experience and create and build off the resources that have been given to us and available to us, as opposed to what they made it into, where it was a 1v1 online mode. Would that have changed Volta for you this year, Tom, if we could play online with some of our buddies versus other people? I think because it's a casual game mode. If I want to play 1v1, you get on Ultimate Team.
Yeah, I think I would have definitely picked it up and played more than just the introductory game to get through to Ultimate Team that you have to do every time you boot the game up on a new device. I think I probably would have played more Volta than just that, but because it was offline, it's just a no-go for me. I just don't play any offline gameplay at all. Squad battles, get away. Career mode, not for me. If career mode went online, I'll tell you what, I might be one of the first people to get on that and have a go.
I feel like that's been a request now for 5 years as well. Can you make an online career mode, and to what degree? Certain game modes, I'm not looking to be harsh here, but certain game modes develop slower than other ones. Ultimate Team has obviously became top priority because that's where the consumers are. People are spending their time there. I'm with you, 100% would co-sign an online career mode. It has not been announced for FIFA 21. What player or players do you think are up in the, I guess, the discussion? Maybe have a chance of becoming a cover star? I don't think we're necessarily going to see more Ronaldo and Messi. I kind of feel a shift here, especially with some of Liverpool's success. I've seen some different rumors. You could always throw Mbappe into the mix. Who's on Tom's list of potential cover stars for FIFA?
I think you've got to look at some of the young future star kind of like potential already performing at a huge level, especially for the UK market. In previous years we've loved an English cover star. We had Rooney for years and years and years, so I wouldn't be surprised to see someone like Jadon Sancho make his way onto the cover, depending on what team he signed for. I wouldn't be surprised. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised to see someone like Arthur, who has just moved to Juventus. He potentially go on this cover, or you could always just fall back to your big players, you know, the ones that everyone knows, your Mbappes, your Neymars. I mean, I think that we're past the day of Messi and Ronaldo, but there still are superstars out there that could go in, you know, like a Van Dijk could very easily make his way onto the cover of FIFA.
I think you got to take that into consideration. I could see Virgil van Dijk when you talk about the English vote. What about Trent Alexander-Arnold maybe? Or even Henderson?
Yeah.
I know Henderson's not the star on that team, but he is the captain. He's got leadership qualities. He's probably a bit underrated from a midfield perspective, very hard-working. But once again, you get that English vote, I guess, so to speak. You're right. Someone English has to be on this. So you got to pick and choose. Who's it going to be? We've also seen Dortmund have impact over cover stars. I remember Royce being on.
Yeah, it wasn't even that long
cover.
ago. Yeah, it wasn't even that long ago. Maybe
Yeah.
like 2-3 years
Yeah,
ago.
you recall this, right? So I do wonder if Sancho did stay, maybe that maybe would impact them even positively because they already have that relationship of we like you guys, you like us. Do you remember when they used to have? Oh, somebody else that we didn't bring up. I don't think we talked about KDB. Kevin De Bruyne. I saw a rumor. I saw a rumor on a Reddit post or an article predicting that he'd be a cover star. You guys can let us know in the comments. I think it's really debatable. It's easy to argue someone from Liverpool has to be there. Pick a Liverpool player, especially considering, at least at this point, we're safe to say they've clenched. Is that safe in the Premier League?
I think they were already a shoo-in even before like the whole league got suspended. So like it was just a case of when they would become champions, not rather a case of if, to be honest.
So Tom, you are now the EA commissioner. So we have Tom the commish. This is your wish list. What would you change going into FIFA 21? It doesn't have to only be gameplay, but maybe give us a couple points or things that you would really hit on that would make a difference and impact the enjoyment for you and you think from a community perspective going into FIFA 21.
Okay, so firstly, I think we got to go with the gameplay. It's the glaring problem with this game. I actually quite enjoy this iteration of FIFA. I enjoy it much more than I have in like previous years. Like I didn't like FIFA 19 or 18. 20 has definitely been the best one for me in the last 3. But I think FIFA...
Hey, unpopular opinion there, and I agree with you.
Then on top of that, servers need, like, I don't know what they need to do with them. They just get rid of whatever you're using now. Get rid of them, and then go back to like server building school and learn how to build a server and to just build it. Like, let us have a game that we can play. It's just unacceptable for me to log on a Saturday morning at like 9 o'clock in the morning or something to play some Ultimate Team, like some foot champs especially, and to be so unresponsive. It does genuinely feel like you can play 2 completely different versions of FIFA. Delay free or...
Yeah, that's what I just don't understand the server concerns or issue. Like I'm not sure in that world how easy or how complicated it is to actually improve connection and then make it more consistent, because you're right. You get online at 9 a.m. it feels one way, 12 p.m. another way, 3 p.m. another way, and so forth. And you can't have that shift. I want some levels of reliability, whether it's good or it's bad. At least I know what I'm going to receive. The only thing I will add on for FIFA 21 wish list, I want a tactical overhaul. I just don't enjoy how tactics have become flipping a switch. When I started playing FIFA, same for you. We've been long FIFA heads, not just as the content creators, even though we're kind of OG in that world, but just from playing the game. When you first got on, you had to do a lot of manual adjustments. When you used quick tactics back in the day, the offside trap made a difference, or when you timed things mattered, when you had your wingers switch places and so forth. And now I like the introduction of on-the-fly tactics where you can change formations and you can do things while the game's already underway before you had to pause. But this, oh, now I'm gonna be a high-pressure player. Oh, now I'm going to park everybody in the bus. And it's just a tactical switch. It has nothing to do with your mentality or your individuality on the virtual pitch. That bothers me, and I want to see that kind of refreshed or redone. I want to see it shifted. It makes it where it caters too much to someone who, for lack of a better word, doesn't understand a lot of the manual aspects. It reduces a skill gap, and I might have the bias of coming from a pro scene where I want to see a larger skill gap, and I think that this could be improved. I like the idea, the concept. I just think it needs to be reworked.
Well, let's give them a positive. FIFA 21, your content has actually been very good this year. I've liked the variety of special cards, I'd like to see more objective cards. I'd like to see a new place for those objectives to be performed rather than putting them into a competitive mode. If you want a competitive mode, keep it competitive. Don't incentivize something where you're going to make people try and get cards and stuff, because then you've got a real issue with people who are trying to get the cards and people who are not trying to get the cards, and like they're trying to win. And like it's just a horrible mismatch. So maybe put them in friendlies and give us back the gold daily tournament, whatever it was, the gold cup.
I agree with you. We got to have some sort of tournament. I missed that heavily. The card design has been brilliant this year. We can leave on a few positives. And FIFA 20 to me, from mechanically and trajectory standpoint, is decent. There's plenty of other things that cause some of the issues and the concerns and so forth. But we have a body that you could work with here. Just build out the body. That man needs to, whatever, get a little more brawly. That's not a great analogy, but you get the idea. Moving into the guest showdown.
Yeah.
this week, we have to close out on a guest showdown, as we always do. I'm really happy with this guest showdown. I think it's creative. We have cover star trivia. So Tom and I are both going to see a FIFA title. We're going to see who was on the front cover, which makes sense. We've been discussing this potentially for FIFA 21, but we don't know what year it is, and we're going to guess the year, and we've each got something to write down on. Unfortunately, I ran out of notebook paper, so I am writing on envelopes. Selection number 1 is on screen. It bothers me because I know what year range this is in, but I don't think I'm going to get the right year. Let me know when you've got something up.
I have got something up, yeah.
Oh, you feel confident. Dang it, Tom. Hold on, all right, so I've put mine on screen. You've done the same?
Yes, I have indeed.
I put FIFA 11. What do you have?
I got FIFA 10 written down.
And you're right. Great. So I'm 0 for 1 right now. Tom's correct. Moving on. Oh, man. I didn't play this FIFA. I have all the FIFAs behind me, like literally every year. And this is not one of those covers. So this is before. All right, so I have one hint then. I know I started playing FIFA. You want a hint, Tom, or you already feel like you know?
I've got one written down.
All right, I put FIFA 2001.
I got 03 written down.
FIFA 2002.
Right down the middle of us both. Damn, one off each.
We're close. All right, so moving on. This is more recent, but still not recent. I mean, Ox no longer there, of course. Joe Hart. I put my guess up. Are you good to go?
Yeah,
All right, what did you go with?
I went with 2008.
I just threw up FIFA 15. That ain't good. Oh, FIFA 13.
Oh my goodness.
Shoot. We're both way off. We deserve like a negative score on that one. We weren't even close. I know this one.
Yeah, me too.
All right, I know one. If I'm wrong on this, I'm gonna feel bad. I put FIFA 17.
I put FIFA 17 as well.
Yeah, I think we're both right. I think that's FIFA 17. Yeah, FIFA 17, correct.
Nice.
Oh, Vidal back at Juventus.
I got on
you go with
FIFA 13.
And see, I went FIFA 15. I think that I said FIFA 15 on the other one. I think this is it. And it is.
Nice.
Come on.
Good work.
Back in the game.
Good work.
Back in the game.
When did they bring him in? When did they put women's
Bring
football?
her in.
When did they bring him in? When did they bring women into FIFA?
All right, I'm pretty confident in this. What you go with, Tom?
I went FIFA 18. Did we already have
16.
FIFA? Did we have FIFA 18?
I went. No, we didn't. I went FIFA 16, and that's because
they've got
Women's
legends.
World Cup, right? Is 16? Yep, FIFA 16.
Oh, I should have seen the. Oh yeah.
The
And
Alex
they've got the
Morgan
legends.
was the hint on that.
Yeah, I know, it's
Oh, they
because I
do. They do. When it said, oh man,
When
that
it was
was a
on-
big hint in the bottom right. I didn't even notice that. I just was
That's
focused
so
on her.
bad. All right.
Oh, it's gonna get hard for you too. I know when this is from,
I went 02.
and that's FIFA 2007. I think this is our last one, right? All right. So last but not least, maybe anticlimactic now because this is recent. I got that's FIFA 19.
It is indeed our favourite.
But that wraps us up on this episode of Closing Belle. Tom, where can the people find you?
CapgunTom. Put it into pretty much Google or any search engine, and it will bring me up. Slash on the end of any of those social medias. You'll be there. You'll be with me.
Thanks again for having me on. By the way, we did an episode maybe a couple months ago. Yeah, maybe 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. But appreciate all you guys for tuning in, and we have a lot more content coming out ASAP.